before we
Schweddy Balls.
Schweddy Balls in there?
I do actually, yeah. Before we hand the reins of the radio station over to Rozak, we need to go back and touch on some of the things we learned today here on the Woody and WIlcox Show.
Yeah, what did we learn today?
We learned that if you heard a weird sound when you got up this morning, and everywhere you went around town, you still heard it, and you couldn't quite put your finger on it. It was going... They were tuning up the Panther bandwagon. It was audible all over the Piedmont, if you will. Because clearly they're going to the Super Bowl. Just like Rozak's Steelers are. Oh, wait. They almost won that game against the Ravens. It was so close.
Good news is, it's still preseason.
Speaking of football, if you weren't fired up this morning when you rolled into work, does the sound of the Coastal Carolina coach explaining dogs and cats get you fired up?
So I told our players, I tried to let it out the front door. The cat's still going crazy in there. And I told our players, you need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs.
And I know what you're thinking. What the hell is that? Do yourself a favor and watch the video on the blog, on the Woody and WIlcox blog page at 1065.com. And you'll still be asking yourself that question, but it's even funnier.
You know the difference between Coastal Carolina and the Carolina Panthers? Coastal Carolina won their game. That's all I'm saying.
Shut your big yapper!
We learned that it was an exciting weekend for me, and at the same time a tragic one, as I did get a notice that I'll be getting free light bulbs from the power company in my mail. But that the mail is going to start coming as late as 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and you know how that's the highlight of my day. It was a tough time. We learned that if you are a dude who is too large to fit in the booth at the White Castle hamburger place, to the point that you have pestered and badgered the owners of the shop that they're sending you plans of the new booth that they're building so that you can now fit in the White Castle hamburger place, it may be time to stop eating White Castle hamburgers. Oh, we learned if, fellas, you're looking for the lady who's most likely to give it up on a first date, here is the exact profile you're looking for. Tall, heavy, white, moderate drinker, and poorly educated. Science has finally rung in. Fat, dumb chicks apparently are the ones who are going to give it up to you on date number 1.
And you got to watch the video after this gets posted. The look on Mel's face when the camera immediately moves to her.
I'm too short. I'm not tall, and I'm not dumb.
We learned that today, if you tell Jay over at the Ben & Jerry's in Gastonia that you heard him on the Woody and WIlcox Show, you get 10% off Schweddy Balls. Who doesn't want that? We learned that apparently F-16s were scrambled yesterday because commercial jets were in peril, and it had something to do with Steve Guttenberg. And we learned that I know somebody who takes a photo of every pair of shoes that they own so they can put it in a photo album and categorize their closet accordingly, and that Mel does the same things with dudes that she's banged.
You gotta have a hobby.
Anything else you missed, you can catch it on the blog page at 1065.com. And, of course, see the video of the recap right now on the same spot on the links and guest page at 1065.com. Rozak on the radio next.
WEND Salisbury, Charlotte.